Hello and welcome to Cipheros again after so much time, I guess. Today we're gonna introduce problem solving for beginners. Okay, because this is really necessary for programming, even though people tend to say just write code or just program, just do something. Okay, actually we must train ourselves to improve our problem solving and to become better on this activity. Actually, programming is the whole thing. Coding is a field and problem solving is another field. We must actually get better at both. So today we're gonna start with JavaScript. Why JavaScript? Because really it's a good language to start with. HTML and CSS are not just a program to this, because JavaScript tends to be more flexible. Python is also a good language to begin with, actually, because its syntax is easier. JavaScript looks like a hell compared with it, but this programming language is used on web development, and web development also tends to be easier than backend. So we're gonna start with it. Keep in mind that also good languages to start are C#, C and C++, Java, Go, Rust. For now, we're gonna focus on JavaScript. Actually, this video is an extension of this post that you can find on Instagram, okay? Just find us as Cipheros X, and you will find pretty beautiful and informative posts about programming and computer science learning. Okay, as you can see, we have problem solving with JavaScript, what C, requirements, and problem, and all behind it. Okay, so this is the introduction. Actually, we're gonna understand a little bit deeper what is problem solving, okay, generally on programming, even though we are focusing on JavaScript. Problem solving is the ability of solving problems, okay, different situations that present us, mainly on the abstract thinking. Mostly are not presented or on real life projects. Okay, these are abstract. We focus with numbers, with calculations using math, but they will develop onto us the capacity of solving these real ones because they used to be easier than just these abstract things. And keep in mind that any problem can be solved on various programming languages. We can get the same problem, okay, like assume a plus b, where a and b can be any number, okay, and we can apply this on JavaScript, on Python, or on Rust, and with any programming language that you can imagine. Just like the real languages, okay, that we use, such as Spanish, English, Italian, French, and Chinese, they communicate ideas, although they use different words. So this is actually what we need to understand. Like how we do say cat, okay, cat is in English, on Spanish it would be gato, on Italian it would be gatto, on French it would be chat, on Chinese I don't know how to say, but we communicate the same idea despite of using different words. This is the same thing with programming languages, where we solve the same problem using a different syntax. Now the requirements are few to get started with problem solving, and primarily, obviously, you need to know JavaScript, okay? First, learn it, okay? You don't need to learn everything. No, actually, just we need the basis, and along the process, we're gonna discover commands, properties, etc. But actually, we need the basis, okay? You need to have the idea of how the syntax works. Then the second is intention, okay? And this is the most important thing because problem solving seems hard because it's hard, at least for most of the people, because our minds are naturally programmed to avoid problems. But actually solving them is how we get better, even more, and we can solve more and more, and every problem has its own reward, which is self-realization and a stronger mind. Also, we need to be open to the idea of using mathematics as a tool. Okay? Even though you don't like it or you had a bad experience with mathematics, actually, programmers actually use math to do all the stuff that they want. If you like math and you want to focus on it, primarily go to be a mathematician. Anything that works on the world, use mathematics, okay, as a tool. So it would be the same thing like a gun, okay, or a weapon. Mathematicians make, okay, or discover that weapon, and we programmers use them, and that's all, okay? So we've got our first problem that actually we need to start really small to understand and see our capabilities. Okay, I think that you can solve this really with ease. Create a function when two numbers can be added, okay, to any numbers. We need to understand, okay, this problem is easy and really anyone can solve it. So our minds process this information easily and get almost instantly the solution. But there are specific steps to follow when this is not the problem and we find anything that is really harder, and just to orientate us, no? So the first thing to do, really to identify what are the requirements, okay? And that is obviously create a function. Many of them actually will ask us that, where two numbers can be added. Okay, so we have the sum operation with two numbers. What are those two numbers? Actually, any. Okay, to solve this, we can actually go to Visual Studio Code, that I suppose that you know what is it. Okay, but we can go for Copen, that is an online code editor. So create your account. This is intuitive to do. I really suppose that you can. And then click onto pen, and the editor will be open. For now, we don't need to use CSS and HTML, so we're gonna minimize them, and there we go. Open this console tab, and there we go, we are ready. Okay, what we need to do is to create a function. Okay, function, so they don't ask us to create a function with a specific name, so I will write add two numbers, and because these two numbers can vary, we will set them as an individual parameter each. So the first number is gonna be A, and the second one is gonna be B. Okay, or they can be C and K, or second number. Okay, but the first one is obviously first number. It doesn't matter really. We're gonna paste this first number and second number. What we're gonna do with this both, plus, and that's all. Finally return, and I like to understand the return command as, okay, do this thing and display. Now to verify our solution, it would be, we can actually apply this function. So we're gonna write the function obviously with the numbers, okay, which can be, I don't know, 10 plus 5, and we're gonna set it as a variable like the result, okay, with this equal sign is all. We're gonna set console log result, and then 15 should appear. Okay, we can actually console log the function itself, and we're also gonna get 15. Okay, the same thing if I set 20 in reality, or 25, we're gonna get the same thing. If I subtract this, we're gonna get 15 again, because 20 minus 5 is 15, and if I multiply them, okay, we're gonna get 100, and if we raise to it, we're gonna get a number really good. A tip really useful, okay, is to operate the function by yourself, okay, to understand what is happening. Operate the function, okay, on comment, because I don't want to confuse you with this. So if the first number is 20 and the second number is 5, so this is what is gonna be happening with this function, okay, and the same thing if we raise 20 to 5. So operate the function by yourself, and you will understand all the process behind it. So we will solve the second problem, okay, and that's about create a function to find the summation of n, which could be any integer value. And we need first obviously to understand the summation. Okay, keep in mind that of mathematics, okay, using this as a tool, the summation of an expression is the sum of all the integers according to the notation's length. Okay, its symbol is the well-known uppercase sigma from the Greek alphabet. Okay, so the expression is I, and I is gonna start from 1, and it will arrive to n by adding each number all together. For example, I will start by 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until it arrives to n, and they are gonna be added all together. If I is raised to the square, I'm gonna get I, okay, that is 1 raised to square, 2 raised to square, 3 raised to square, 4 raised to square, until n, okay, that for example if n is 10, okay, until 10 raised to square, and they will be added all together. We have other examples here, okay? The expression is f of n, and then start by 1 and finish it with 4. So we'll get f of 1 plus f of 2 plus f of 3. We can start off, okay? The first part is what it's asking us to do, obviously creating a function. And we'll write function summation with an n of parameter, because n can be any number, can vary. This is actually what we're gonna find. To n, we're gonna apply all the process to find its summation. Next, if n is any number, okay, and I is starting by 1, we're gonna add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 by 9 plus 10. Okay, so this sounds really about getting all the numbers behind our parameter. How do we do that? With a for right here, for loop bar I, which starts from 1. Getting all the values behind it, this 1 is gonna be increasing until it arrives to n. How do we do that? With set, okay, bar I is equal to 1, and while this I is less than n, it's gonna be added by 1, or it's gonna be increasing by 1 each time, okay? Okay, we have to remember this as a way to get all the values behind a number. And while all the values will be added all together, the only way to do that is actually declaring a variable, okay, to start with, because this expression by itself is nothing. So what is the default value for a sum? What are you gonna get if you add nothing? Obviously 0. So declare, so set bar sum as equal to 0, because it's the default result that we're gonna get, and obviously we're gonna always return that. That is what this function is gonna display. We're gonna be adding all the numbers behind n. How do we do that? Sum, okay, this is this variable, equal plus I, which means that to this 0 we're gonna add a 1 at the beginning, and then if n is, for example, 3, okay, we're gonna add a 2 and then 3, and that's all, because always I is increasing, okay, plus 1. Finally, we're gonna write a comment for each of these on the case in which this is the initial value, the default value, okay. Next, with this for loop, we are getting all the integers behind n, and with this 0, we are adding each one. With the return sum, we are displaying our update variable. So I'm really excited to try this out. We're gonna console log a summation of, I don't know, 5, just to have an exemplar, and that is 10, which is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, and we are not getting 15 because there is a problem, and I guess that is here, which is the equal sign. Now we get 15. If we don't add this equal sign, we are only adding until 4, okay, but it isn't. Now if we do with 3, this is the same thing, we're gonna get 6. I encourage you to try this out and understanding all the function process while doing it. So that's all for now. We're gonna continue with this problem solving statements, but with shorter lessons. By the way, this is the introduction, and I hope that it was really useful for you. So my name is Fabricio Machado from Cipheros, and we see you on the next one.
What?